Welcome to another Inspirio tutorial. In this video, we'll review the top mistakes you're making in Camtasia and how to avoid them to take your video editing game to the next level. From awkward transitions to poor audio quality, we'll cover it all. By the end of this video, you'll be able to identify and fix these common mistakes, taking your video content to new heights. Number 1, inconsistent audio levels. Poor audio can be distracting. Many users forget to normalize audio across clips, leading to jarring volume differences between segments. Notice here we have 3 different audio recordings on the same track. Recording number 1 is normal. If you're like me, you love using visuals to tell a story. Now recording number 2 starts off high. We have 5 round circles which contain both our bold type descriptions, and recording 3 hits the clipping level showing red. Highlight the audio on the timeline. Drag the volume level of the audio track. How do we make our audio consistent throughout our video? Camtasia has a feature called Auto Normalize that came out in about 2019. Now there's nothing you have to do to enable this feature. It's on by default. If we go up to Edit, Preferences, we can see under Project tab, Auto Normalize is on. Every time you turn Camtasia on, this is automatically checked. If you don't want it, uncheck it. Every time you do download a clip, the level is automatically adjusted. By the way, there's a couple other places you can find it. You can go up here to the Canvas options, go down to Project Settings, once again Auto Normalize. The third place you'll find it is when you click on any of the audio tracks and go over to Properties. You'll also see here Auto Normalize. Now notice that even though the default was set at yes to normalize, that affects it when you download. Once it's downloaded, you can turn this on or off per clip. So all of our soundtracks have been unchecked as far as Auto Normalize goes. Let's go ahead and select each track, and we're going to do Auto Normalize. And notice as we do this that you can see the compression go into place, how they're all brought in. And if you check, you can see that they're all the same level now as we go across. Transitions can add polish, but overusing them can feel unprofessional. We are currently looking at 2 video clips. One is of a dragonfly, and the second one is a bee inside of a flower. The other clips we're looking at is a call out from our annotation tab. One is red and one is yellow. Let's now move up to our transitions, and we can see that the type we're on right now is all of them, and we can see we have a lot of transitions. Now, even though we have a lot of transitions, a number of these transitions, unless you have a very, very unique need, are really of no use. For example, heart pops. Let's go down here, drag that down, and we notice that we light up the start of our video, the middle or the end of the video, start of the next video, and the end of the video. We're going to place this right in between the 2 video tracks. Let's move our track head over and play this really quick. And you can see it's kind of cheesy. Now you notice that fade went pretty quick. If we want to slow it down, all we have to do is come down here to our transition, click on it, and simply stretch it out to the size you want. And now when we play it, we can see it moves along a lot slower. Let's now move back up to our transitions, and let's just look at fades. And we're just going to take a fade from a glow. We're going to drag it down in between our two film clips. And let's see what that looks like. And you see that doesn't look too bad. Let's move back up, and let's just take a regular fade and move it down in between our two clips and take a quick look at that. That looks good. Now let's take the same fade and move it over here and put it between our two callouts. Now this kind of shows you a little trick you can do in your callouts. If you want to change the color of your callout, you can simply do this by changing them to fade. Now let's work with our fade a little bit. We're going to come down here, and what we're going to do in order to see this better, we're going to increase the size of the line. And now we can see this a lot better. We can click on our fade, and if we come up here on the right, we'll see that we have transitions, fade. Once again, we can access all the different types of fades, and we can use trim content, or we can actually reverse a fade. In other words, if a fade goes in one direction, we can reverse it so it goes in the other direction. Dead space or irrelevant footage can bore your viewers. Here we have two video clips from my previous transition tutorial. The top clip is an unedited version, and the bottom clip is the final edited version. The bottom edited version is less than 1/3 the length of the edited version. Notice how much dead space is in the top track. When editing, you might be tempted to use the split tool to cut the clip at the start and the end of unwanted sections. For example, we have some dead space right here, and if I wanted to get rid of that, you might be tempted to just split it and then come over here and split the other section. And then we have this little piece that we can remove and bring over our clip. The problem is we end up with two separate sections. The better way, let's move back where we were. The better way is to use the ripple delete tool. And that we just select the area we want, do Control Backspace, and now we've removed that. It's automatically moved the track down together with the other space, and if you notice, it's still one track. It has not separated. Under the split, that would be separated right there. I only use the split tool to trim the beginning of a track, like down here, or at the end where we have dead space. So for example, I hit the split here and remove that piece. The other time is when I want a gap in a clip so I can insert a piece of another clip. For example, I'll put a clip in here. I can just simply hit S and I can separate it, come over here, grab a clip and put it in the middle and join them all together. Let's move on to resolution and aspect ratio. Using the wrong aspect ratio or resolution can result in black bars, pixelation, or distorted videos. One thing you want to do when you start each project is to go up into the project settings and check and see what your dimensions are. Most people are normally at high definition, full height at 1920 by 1080. I actually work in 4K. So rather than that size, the 1920 by 1080, I'm working with the 4K. And on the 4K, we have 3840 by 2160, 30 frames per second. You want to make sure that's what you want. We'll apply it. The other thing we want to do is to size our media to fit in the window. For example, if I were to bring in this picture, you can see that it does not fit in our window. The reason being it's It's a 1080p. In other words, just high definition. It's not a 4K. But what we want to do is we want to stretch out the handle so that it fits. And as you see in Camtasia, it will snap to the windows. And now it fits and proportionate looks good. I'm going to bring in a Adobe stock photo, which does not fit our window. It's quite wide. And what we're going to do is we're going to bring it up to where all the corners meet and then slide it in. And now it fits our window. Looks good. The last one we're going to bring in is 4K, and you can see it fits right on the canvas. There's no adjustment necessary. The last thing you want to do in checking your proportions is when you get ready to export, we go up to Export and Local File, and you want to make sure your dimensions match the dimensions of your recording. So this is 2160, which is 4K, which is the dimensions we're in our recording. If it doesn't, then you have to go up here to Preset and put in the type that you want. For our final mistake, let's ensure your video has clean and polished captions. Captions aren't just for accessibility, they help viewers follow along, especially when watching without sound, and a lot of viewers watch these tutorials and videos without sound. What's really nice is that in Camtasia it's really easy to add captions. First thing we do is we come down here to the Captions tab, and then we go up to the top where it says CC. We click on the ratchet bar, and I can click on it up here, and you can see it shows where it is in the timeline. Now this is already lined up, it's already synced. There's nothing else we have to do except one thing that's very important. That is, we want to go through our captions and make sure that it actually translated correctly. Sometimes it will not recognize words, especially acronyms, and such as AI and so forth. And so we want to go through and we want to proofread all our captions. And this only takes a few minutes. It doesn't take that much work to do that. After we check our captions for words and misspelled words, the next thing we want to do, and you want to make sure you do this, is you want to create an SRT file. And the SRT file you want separate from this file. If you took this right now and you exported this, what's going to happen is it's going to burn it in to your video. And so the person watching your video will not be able to turn off captions and turn on captions. We don't want that. So on YouTube, for example, we want to go up here and we want to go into Export Captions. And now if you look right here, we have an SRT file. And what we're going to do, all you do is give it a name, save it, and then you'll have an SRT file. When you upload your video to YouTube, it will ask you later on in the process of uploading your video on the YouTube if you have an SRT file and you want to put that in at that time. So after you create your SRT file and you're ready to export this file, you want to, before you export, delete from the timeline the closed captions, because now you already have it in a separate file. And that's it. Let's wrap this up. By avoiding these 5 common mistakes, you'll instantly improve your video quality and create a more professional product. If this video helped you, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe for more Camtasia tips and tutorials. Thanks for watching, and happy editing.